You can tell a whole lot about how your life is going from what you sleep on every night. When I moved into my first apartment at age 19, I just kept my bed I'd had throughout high school. It was fine. Who cares? Bed's a bed. A couple years later, I moved to another state and left behind whatever I couldn't fit in my car, so I snagged a bed that someone was giving away. It was a waterbed. I gotta imagine that to this day, I am the youngest person on the planet who has ever owned a waterbed. They've just about gone extinct, as they should, because a waterbed is not only the worst type of bed ever devised, it is perhaps the very stupidest object of any kind that you can possibly own. It's very uncomfortable, it's difficult to keep clean, it's fundamentally off-putting, and it's just weird. When I moved, I had to stick one end of a hose in the waterbed, run it out the window, go downstairs, go outside, and suck it to create suction. When I did, a blast of water I'd spent a year sleeping on hit me in the face. I cannot overemphasize to you how debasing this is. Thankfully, the bed eventually sprang a leak and I threw it out. I was finally free. I spent the next 6 months or so sleeping on the floor, which was preferable. In late 2007, my Ripken-like streak of never paying a single dollar for a bed continued when I grabbed a futon someone was giving away. I can testify firsthand that futons are better thought of a, hey, you can crash at my place for a couple nights solution than as a, this will be my bed for 3 years solution. In 2010, my streak continued when I accepted a second-hand bed for free. It was a perfectly fine, normal bed. I felt like a millionaire, and my station in life continued to ascend in 2014 when I bought my first ever brand new bed upon moving to New York City. It was a build-it-yourself type. You can probably guess the brand. I'm sure I just didn't tighten the screws well enough or something, because this bed spent most of its 3 years of service sounding like it was 5 seconds away from completely falling apart. By 2018, my bed history indicated that I'd led a full and interesting life to that point. My only regret was that I'd never once slept on one of those Murphy beds you pull out of the wall, although I'd settled upon multiple solutions that had proved at least as demeaning. It was in January of this year that my future wife and I decided to make the leap. For the first time in either of our lives, we purchased a brand new bed that was actually good. We spent $1,488 on this bed. We have bought cars for less. I won't share the Mattresses brand with you because there are no free rides around here, but despite its price tag, it's one of the best investments we've ever made. Nearly 7 years later, it's still as great as it was the day we bought it. It is a truly excellent bed. On January 7th, 2018, we lock in the deal and receive the expected confirmation email. 5 days later, the manufacturer emails to inform us that the order is on the way. A few days later, 5 things to do before your mattress comes. When I pull up this email many years later, all the images and links are broken, but I'm sure it was a nice little email. On the 20th, a confirmation that it's out for delivery, and on Monday the 22nd, it arrives. In 2018, this is our home, a perfectly fine little 2-bedroom apartment. Our fears that it wouldn't fit inside our bedroom have been allayed. I unroll this gigantic, glorious California king, breeze through the relatively minimal assembly process, indulge myself with a belly flop, and immediately identify with all the silly marketing language that populates every email and inhabits its every square inch. My journey to comfort has begun. The manufacturer's marketing team rounds out their correspondence with a 6th and 7th email, both of which ask me to fill out a survey, which I do not. An entire year and change later, they reach back out with an 8th email advertising a giveaway. I probably don't even notice it, much less participate. And that is just about that. For a while. On the morning of September 2nd, 2019, about a year and a half after my purchase, they send me email number 9. Happy Labor Day. Save $327 with a mattress purchase. Labor Day is a prime tentpole among furniture suppliers everywhere, so this campaign is not surprising, nor is it completely unexpected that they might try to sell me another mattress. Although we don't have any kids who need a new mattress, for example, we might, for all they know. But what's interesting and a little bit confusing is the language within. They want me to catch up on the Z's. They tell me I deserve this. Surely they know I already purchased one of their mattresses only a year and a half ago. Surely they remember this mattress was attached to a 10-year warranty, and surely they have a lot more faith in their product than to imagine I'd already need a replacement. Obviously, I opt not to take them up on their offer to buy a second mattress. We will now experience an alternate future in which I do. These are the rules of the game we are about to play. Rule number 1. If the mattress company emails me to sell me a mattress, I must purchase it. This is not an unheard of gameplay mechanic. For example, did you know that in competitive checkers, if you have the option to jump over and capture an opposing piece, you are required by rule to capture it? Same deal here, although the specific intent must be clear. They can't simply send me an email with a template that includes a mattresses section in the top nav bar. That's not enough. They have to explicitly try to convince me to purchase a mattress, whether in the subject line or within the body of the email. Rule number 2. Unless they explicitly try to sell me a different type of mattress, I must purchase the exact same mattress and frame I originally bought. The logic here is that I have already signaled with my wallet that this is my preferred mattress size, and it would be nonsensical to drop $1,300 on a mattress without also investing less than $200 on the platform base that's built for it. So, unless they direct me otherwise, I'll need to throw down $1,488. Rule number 3. If I buy a mattress, I must keep it. I can't resell it, and I can't give it away, as much as I'd like to, because that would seem to violate the spirit of their request. Similarly, I cannot place it in a rented storage unit because virtually every storage company prohibits sleeping in their units. A review of the language in my mattress manufacturer's email tells us that they don't want me to simply purchase this mattress, they want me to enjoy it. It's intended for me. Since this mattress comes with a 10-year limited warranty, I think it's fair to get rid of a mattress once I've owned it for 10 years, but it must remain in my possession until then. Let's begin. Email number 9, sent on September 2nd, 2019, did actively and explicitly sell me a mattress, so I must buy it. I have now spent $2,976 total dollars. This is not great. While this room over to the left is nominally a bedroom, we use it as an office, and the sheer size of a California King mattress, 7 feet by 6 feet, now dominates the room. Our workspaces are now pretty cramped, but I guess we can live with it. On the upside, we also use this as a guest room whenever friends come into town, and they'll be treated to what's surely the nicest guest bed they've ever been offered. About 3 weeks later, I get another email from the mattress company. They're advertising pillows and sheets with the purchase of a mattress. By the end of September 2019, we've spent $4,464 worth of bed. The office is barely big enough to fit a second mattress at the expense of it no longer being an office. From here on out, when we work from home, we're going to have to work from the living room, using either the couch or the kitchen table. We lived like this for several months, and then, on February 7th, 2020, the manufacturer emails about their President's Day sale. The front-loaded deal here is a $350 discount on a mattress. Unfortunately, the specifics of this offer are impossible to recover in 2024. When I try to click through 4 years later, I'm directed to a page that, as you'd expect, indicates that the offer has expired. And you know how discount offers work. That discount probably required the purchase of extra accessories that might well have largely offset any savings there may have been. Consequently, I have little choice but to charge myself the original total of $1,488. As for where to put bed number 4, I guess we'll shove it in the corner of the living room and just make do. This will partially obstruct the kitchen. We'll have to move the kitchen table near the doorway and push up the couch uncomfortably close to the TV, which is mounted to this wall here. Not a fan. But you know what? It is February 7th, 2020. Just a few days ago, I saw my team win their first Super Bowl since I was born. I'm still flying pretty high. I'll be okay. 2020 is going to be the best year ever. About a week later, they send out another email that advertises this same mattress sale. And that's it. We gotta throw out our own couch to make room for bed number 5. Actually, you know what? This is dumb. I should just start stacking these up, right? You probably thought of this before I did, didn't you? Okay, yeah, let's do that. See, look, I'll keep bed number 2 where it is, sitting on its bed frame. I can store all the other unassembled bed frames. Then just stack the mattresses on top. Okay. Got our office bag, got our living room bag. This is a good solution. So good that it can withstand an additional 3 emails in February, all of which advertise a mattress discount. Considering they've gone long stretches without trying to sell me a mattress, maybe my inclusion in the President's Day sale was a one-off mistake. On Leap Day of 2020, I hold my breath as I find an additional email in my inbox, but false alarm. They're only selling me accessories as they should have all along. Maybe my email address was finally returned to the correct database. Another email on March 7th, sheets and pillows, oh good, with select mattresses, oh no. As I enter the work week of March 9th, 2020, I stand in what remains of my home office staring at the mattresses that have piled up. They've already reached my 10-foot ceiling. Any more and I'm just going to have to start a new stack and say goodbye to my workspace once again. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to work from the office more often. March 19th, I'm about a week into lockdown. It is a truly confusing time for us all. I'm really hoping this generational event doesn't give the mattress company a cue to email me again. Oh no. Turns out they're selling seat cushions though. Oh good. And a mattress. Oh no. By the end of March, emails have forced me to buy my 12th bed. In April, they email me 8 more times, although they only explicitly try to sell me a bed in 2 of them. By June 20th, I'm up to 21 mattresses, and this is when they begin their prolonged 4th of July sale. During this campaign, they barraged me with 8 more emails, all of which ask me to buy a mattress. At this juncture, it's occurring to me that you might interpret all of this as a petty grievance masked as a 3-dimensional building block adventure. But if a greater point does at any point present itself, and to be clear, there is no guarantee of that, it will not be that junk mail is a problem. We all know that. It's a very 1998 thing to complain about. It's also, in this specific scenario, a pointless thing to complain about because I could simply mark one of these emails as spam and never see another one ever again. But I didn't. Not because I wanted to manufacture a problem for myself and have something to complain about, but because I developed a sense of curiosity. I've made relatively major purchases of several different kinds from several different companies. I have 2 laptops, and neither of their manufacturers have ever emailed me to try to sell me a new laptop. My couch's manufacturer has emailed me sporadically, but only to sell me other types of furniture, never another couch. I could go on, reviewing every single thing I've ever bought, and virtually every single one of those things has a significantly higher repurchase rate than a mattress. What do you replace and upgrade less frequently than a mattress? If you bought a brand new mattress and you were perfectly happy with it, how many years would pass before it even once occurred to you to buy another one? Think about it for a second. Do you own literally anything you upgrade less often? If you own a car, you're more likely to replace that car than you replace your mattress. If you own a house, you might buy a new house first. So why is it, of all possible companies, my mattress company that is laying siege upon my inbox like this, and why, of all the SKUs in their inventory, do they repeatedly try to sell me a mattress when they certainly know I recently bought one? I don't know. I think we're drifting into a new era, one in which we do an increasingly intense number of things for no good reason at all. This study, on the other hand, this is of the greatest importance. As the end of August 2020 nears, I have spent more than $49,000 on mattresses. Worse yet, all 4 of my stacks have now hit the ceiling. We've had to throw out almost all our furniture and our view of the TV is blocked, but we still have some space for some chairs. You know, once they figure out the vaccine, we might actually be able to have some people over, still stand in the bathroom. We could, open the door and have kind of a living room, bathroom kind of hang. If, that is, I could get a break from all these mattress emails, which I don't. It is somehow already Labor Day season again. On August 28th, the mattress company sends me a 66th email and a 34th mattress offer. Don't worry, I still see lots of empty hardwood around here, plenty of space to work with. We just need to start standing these guys up on their sides, don't we? The Labor Day promo campaign is relentless, sending me 5 mattress offers in the space of a week and change, and just when I think it's over, Tuesday, September 8th, subject line, by popular demand, Labor Day sale is extended. In the body of the email, you asked for more time, you got it. Liar. You are a liar. Not a single person reached out to this mattress company to tell you, I love this deal, but I need one more day to decide. Didn't happen. It's now September 11th. Heads up! Labor Day sale is about to end. Whew. Their Labor Day campaign finally ends on the 14th with mattress number 41. I really hope our landlord doesn't come by anytime soon. This is looking like a big-time safety hazard. Speaking of, on the 16th, having realized they need to issue reinforcement kits to keep their bed frames from collapsing, they try to shout above their own noise by leading off their subject line with important in all caps. Didn't work. I definitely never saw this email. I can imagine a world in which they reach out as often as a normal mattress company would, which is never, except in specific cases like this one in which customer safety is in jeopardy. Had this been the first email they sent me since I bought it, I probably would have taken notice, but this is the 13th time they've emailed me in the last 30 days alone. No chance. October 9th, email number 81 does not try to sell me a mattress. Instead, it congratulates me for having owned my mattress for 1,006 nights. 3 things. First, I checked and that number is wrong. Second, were you busy on night number 1,000? What is so special about 1,006? Third, this is concrete evidence that they have not forgotten that I already bought a mattress. They know. Do you see what I've been trying to do here? Since I want us to be able to actually sleep on one of these beds, I've left our first one as is, and I've tried to place the other bed so as to allow for a little path we can sneak through. By November 10th, though, we're maxed out at 49. I couldn't possibly even add one more mattress without obstructing the path to the bathroom, the kitchen, or the front door. Those are my 3 favorite rooms: bathroom, kitchen, and outside. Since they've shown no indication that they're gonna stop emailing me mattress offers, I have no choice. I have to expand. But as I begin to consider this possibility, I'm nagged by a feeling that this mess is not the experience the manufacturer of my mattress intended me to have. Remember that email way back when they sold me redundant mattress number 1? They expressed a hope that I would enjoy it. Not just have it, but enjoy it. And I have not been enjoying any of this. That changes today. I'm making an addendum to rule number 3. In accordance with the spirit of this rule, I must make every accommodation to ensure that every single mattress I purchase is immediately accessible, such that I might enjoy it as I see fit. That means no more stacking mattresses and no more standing them on their sides. I should be able to belly flop on any one of these mattresses at any moment of my choosing. I'm sure you're already imagining how expensive this is gonna get, but I don't think I'm being a martyr here. I don't think I'm creating a needless complication for myself. In every email and in every link they direct me to, they champion the superior comfort of their mattresses and insist I will love them. By pack ratting them in here like this, I simply wasn't playing the game the right way. Here's the new plan. I'm hauling all but 5 of these mattresses out of here, ensuring that these 5 are immediately accessible. I'm renting nearby apartments, as many as I need to ensure that I can position the remaining 44 mattresses in a similarly accessible fashion. This would be much cheaper and easier if I were to move out of New York City. Should I move? Well, that's a question of whether or not they think I should. They know where I live, and they're still asking me to buy these mattresses, so I don't think so. My mattresses and I are staying in the neighborhood, ideally within the nearest couple of blocks. This means renting out brownstone apartments. After studying blueprints from a variety of sources, I have assembled what I believe to be a fairly representative floor plan of a typical brownstone: a basement, first floor, second floor, and third floor. Basements are preferable for our purposes. With fewer walls and partitions, this basement allows me to store 8 mattresses. But since the vast majority of apartments are not basement apartments, I'd have to expand my search radius so far that my mattresses would require longer and longer walks to get to, rendering them less accessible. I can't get picky here. No choice but to just rent out any and every apartment I can, even if the floor plans are suboptimal and allow for fewer mattresses. A lot of these apartments, which were built more than a century ago, are rife with nooks and crannies that are just barely too small for a California king. I just had to pick a California king, didn't I? Why did I have to pick the biggest one? When did I become Little Lord Fauntleroy? Why did I get so fancy? At what point did I forget where I came from? Well, whenever in my life that happened, I'm paying the price now. On average, apartments in my neighborhood rent for $4.12 per square foot per month. That means that renting out this entire brownstone is going to cost me just over $13,000 a month. Even then, as we see here, your average brownstone only accommodates 26 of my mattresses. 18 of my mattresses still need a home. I have little choice but to rent out a second brownstone. My rent is now more than $26,000 a month. Thanks to that one $1,400 mattress I bought via that one little email address, my expenses are now spiraling completely out of control. Even if the mattress company never emails me ever again, it will continue to spiral. I'll be paying more than $300,000 a year in rent, and since these mattresses are guaranteed with a 10-year warranty, I'm looking at more than $3 million. So how, you're probably asking, do I have $3 million to throw away on this? Mind your own business. The mattress company does indeed continue to email me, typically to ask me to buy a mattress. By the end of 2020, they have required me to purchase my 61st mattress, thereby necessitating the rental of a third brownstone. Total expenditures entering 2021, $156,688. Thankfully and mysteriously, they spend most of the first 5 months of the year leaving me alone, emailing me just 5 mattress offers total. But the cost of the mattresses themselves is almost immaterial in comparison to the rent I am now obligated to pay. Entering June, these 3 brownstones have now put me about $360,000 in the red. During June and July, they sell me 19 more mattresses, thereby compelling brownstone rental number 4. Perhaps most galling, though, is an email in which they do not sell me a mattress. July 25th, class begins tomorrow. Without even bothering to ask me first, they have enrolled me in a daily email curriculum about how to sleep good. You gotta be kidding me. You have made more than $100,000 off me. I have donated a third of a mil to area landlords just so I can store and arrange your products in a respectable manner. And you want me to go to mattress school in July. It's becoming extraordinarily confusing. On one hand, they seem to think I'm such a rabid brand loyalist that I'll attend their email summer school, a notion too unfathomably depressing to dwell on for any length of time. On the other hand, it's quite clear that they've completely forgotten who I am. September 1st, 2021, subject line, "This is what your current mattress is missing." Then they go on to describe the exact same mattress technology that is inside the mattress that they sold me. 6 weeks later, join over 1 million satisfied sleepers and experience the unparalleled comfort of a mattress for yourself. I'm one of those million. I'm one of those 1 million. How do you think we got here? How do you think you got my email address? Did I just send it to you so you can email me for 3.5 years to help me make a decision? I'm starting to feel like I'm the only person around here who even gives a damn. I've faithfully purchased every mattress they've tried to sell me, and I've just as faithfully found a good home for each and every one at tremendous personal expense. By the end of 2021, I have required myself to purchase 136 mattresses. That hiatus at the year's outset was only temporary and was followed by a relentless assault on my inbox, the likes of which I have never seen from any other company of any kind. I have rented out a 5th and 6th brownstone to find room for all of them. I pay $79,000 in rent every month. I have now spent about $874,000 total. As we move into 2022, I'm beginning to get the impression that at mattress company headquarters, one hand often doesn't know what the other hand is doing. On Valentine's Day, they send me 2 emails a mere 12 minutes apart that have different subject lines but are otherwise identical. Both sell me a mattress. This is going to happen several more times going forward, and it is going to be hell on my bottom line. By May, my total expenditures pass $1.4 million, and I am now nominally the tenant of 8 brownstones that house my 189 mattresses. Their email blitz simply will not end. This while, interestingly enough, they seem to have now remembered that I do already own their mattress. Look at this, May 18th. Loving your mattress? Then you'll love our other products, such as a mattress. Once again, it is reasonable to wonder whether they think I might have a kid and might be in the market for a mattress for that kid, and that's why they keep emailing me. But we do have to ask ourselves this. If I had, in the real world timeline, purchased a second mattress, do we really think they would have stopped emailing me? What if I'd really bought a third, a fourth, a fifth? When would it stop? I mean, is this what Mattress HQ looks like? Is it a dusty, sepia-toned, sun-drenched office like the one in Saving Private Ryan? Do they have a kindly woman like this one whose heart breaks upon realizing a mother has lost 3 of her 4 sons, or that a valiant and heroic YouTuber has bought 3 mattresses and races to alert commanding officers? No, they don't make people like her anymore. And there's no reason to believe these mattress offers would ever cease, no matter how many I entertained. These emails are being pushed out thoughtlessly and endlessly with no regard for their poor, increasingly insolvent recipient. And in fact, the language is now becoming a little more aggressive. June 4th subject line begins with "Open ASAP." Oh, so that's going to do the trick, huh? I watched your previous 190 emails float down my inbox like logs down a stream, but now that you're advising me to open ASAP, I better open this one, right? Let's fast forward to October of 2022, by the end of which I have rented out a 9th and 10th brownstone and watched my total expenditures to date climb above $2 million. Email number 333, sent on October 27th. Don't keep us a secret. Dear God in heaven. They did it. They finally did it. It finally occurred to them to reach out to me about their referral program. Email number 333 is the very first time I have ever heard about this program, which offers me a gift card and my friend a slight discount if they buy a mattress on my recommendation. I've always been here, baby. I've never left. I still love my mattress you sold me. I've recommended it to other people. Why are you only now, nearly 5 years into this thing, telling me this? This and that safety hazard email are literally the only two reasons a mattress company should ever email you. Ever. In previous years, the mattress company has observed a holiday armistice. Last December, for instance, they really laid off and limited themselves to just a few emails. But this armistice is no longer observed. In December of 22, again, just about half a decade after I bought a mattress, that mattress's manufacturer sends me an unthinkable 23 emails, 20 of which sell me a mattress. I now require 12 brownstones in which to station my armada of 293 mattresses. On the evening of March 2nd, 2023, they send me what is by far their most unusual email to date. The letterhead is a logo for something called MetaMask. It goes on about something called Know Your Customer Verification. It says my wallet has been suspended. What? Is this a crypto thing? No, thank you. I have no need for crypto. I have already identified a means of flushing all my money directly down the toilet and completely ruining my life that I am already perfectly happy with. Later that night, whoops, looks like my mattress company accidentally let some seize their domain and push out a fraudulent email. I don't know how in the world they allowed that to happen. They're deeply apologetic, as well they should be. There are probably upwards of 1 million people on this mailing list. I bet a fair number of folks were taken in by this. And whatever you might think of people who've thrown their fortunes into crypto, it's still sad to think of people getting scammed. How many people saw their finances wiped out by this? This mattress company has a lot to answer for. We apologize for any concern or inconvenience this has caused. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. 1 day later. So anyways, wanna buy a mattress? These people spend the back half of March trying to yank my chain. On the 14th, they introduce a new offer. Up to $800 worth of savings with the purchase of a mattress. They email me about it again on the 18th, the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, and the 24th. On the 27th, the sale's almost over. On the 28th, the sale ends tonight. This is your very last chance to save $800. The very next day, I kid you not, hey, want to save $800? It is the exact same sale, and it's one they spend most of April emailing me about over and over and over. They just don't care. They don't care that their sales and promotional campaigns run right into each other and produce obvious contradictions. They don't care whether I've already bought a mattress or not. This would be an incredibly simple fix. Put my email in a database, label that database customers who have already bought a bed, and email the people in that database accordingly. Focus on bed sheets, accessories, that kind of thing. Reduce your mattress offers by about 99%, and even then, sell me on why I would want a second one. But they don't care enough to do that. I'd be willing to bet that they're able to see how often or seldom I actually open their emails, which, before I began conducting this research, was absolutely never. They don't care about that either, nor should they care necessarily. Each email probably costs them 1/10 of a cent to send. If you can construct an entire universe of nothingness and it costs nothing, then hey, why not? I opted to conclude this study upon receiving my 500th mattress offer on March 24th, 2024, some 6 years and change after my original mattress purchase. By this point, I had rented out 20 entire brownstones that's close to an entire city block, right in the middle of Brooklyn, populated by 500 mattresses and 0 people. This is supervillain type stuff. I've got to be the worst gentrifier humankind has ever seen. By this point, I had spent $5,925,312. Only about 12% of that was spent on the mattresses themselves. The rest went to rent. Rent, which was required to place those mattresses as they were intended to be placed. Mattresses that they intended me to buy, regardless of how many I had previously bought. What does the future hold? Well, as I speak to you right now, it is the morning of March 26th, 2024. As unlikely as it might be, let's just suppose that they never email me ever again. Although I've purchased my final mattress, my expenses have barely even begun to mount. In accordance with the spirit of their request, as outlined in rule number 3, I must maintain ownership of these mattresses until their 10-year warranty expires. Therefore, I must continue to rent these brownstones until then. There's no telling how much more exploitative the New York City rental market might become, especially because I am single-handedly creating a good deal of market scarcity all by myself, which is probably driving my neighborhood's rent averages through the stratosphere, but let's just suppose rent levels remain in place for the long haul. The mattresses in brownstone number 1, which I began acquiring in October of 2020, will of course surpass their 10-year warranty in October 2030, at which point I can move out of this one. For others, I'll have to wait a lot longer. I won't be able to move out of brownstone number 20 until February of 2034. So, while I've only spent a tick under $6 million as of today, I will have spent $32,385,600 by the time this ordeal is finally behind me. And even this best-case scenario is vastly unlikely. They began the primary phase of their assault on my inbox in June of 2021, and aside from one brief hitch last summer, there has been no let-up. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to email me at this rate 5, 10, even 20 years from now. I must return to the feeling of astonishment I previously shared with you. This is a terribly designed chart. I did an awful job. The exponential uptick in expenditures is so dramatic that when surveyed all at once, it doesn't look like an uptick at all. It looks like a needle. The reason it's so out of whack is that because when I first plotted this $1,488 mattress purchase, I wanted it to look like something. I wanted to visually acknowledge that $1,400 is a lot of money. This scale would have worked were it just about any other consumer product you can name. Pizza, socks, laptops. All of those things have very different lifespans. All those things might earn you tons of emails were you to buy them, and while being rewarded for a laptop purchase with 500 more laptop offers would be pretty silly, at least I never would have had to play this satanic real estate game. They're small. I could have fit them all in here. This chart would have remained perfectly linear as far as the eye can see. Simply as a result of conducting this study, I fear that I have doomed myself. Again, they almost certainly have the ability to track the open rates of those emails, and I have now clicked on every single one of the 600 emails they have sent me for a flawless, unheard of 100% open rate, all of which were clicked open within a matter of days. Oh God. They've probably never seen anything like it. I bet they got it printed out and tacked on the wall. Once in a while, the manager points at it. What we've got here is a whale. We're going to print money with this guy. Sell this man every mattress we have. I'm done for. And there's nothing I can do about it. What am I supposed to do? Ignore them? I can't ignore them. They're emails.